Ugh. I know. I always walk after the show with Pam too. That's
I'm
when
gonna have
we
to.
walk 2 miles afterwards in the dark. I know, man.
Usually, like my golf gets me there, but like I'm only at like 7,500. I mean, that's not much that I have to get in, but
I know, dude. Because like Friday night we had our high school game that didn't start because it was an away game. Well, the away game's actually closer because it's our rival, so it's actually closer to our house than Howell
oh,
is. It's
okay.
like across the street. Um, and it was they were talking smack on Twitter about our school, and it was their senior night, right? Dude, we running clocked them on their senior
Oh
night.
yeah,
So
yeah,
good. Our running back like set a school record. It was awesome.
that's awesome.
Anyway, so
We're
we
gonna get running clocked for Emily's senior night next week. But
we
you know
get
what? They won another game though. I don't think I even told you that. So
shut
they
up,
went,
dude. Yeah.
yeah, and they lost the game in the last second. Like it was a tied game, and with 5 seconds left, they made a touchdown. So they would be like 3-4, but instead they're 2-5. But that's all right.
Hey, it's improvement.
They got 2 wins, man. She went 3 years without one.
It's, it, that's like Paige's basketball team, man. They didn't win forever, and then they went
I
like
know.
from
Boom,
three
she
games.
shows
They went
up.
from 3 games to 19
Yeah.
first year.
Oh man, but next Friday, man, it's gonna be the last march into the stadium. The last.
Oh my
I
god,
mean,
no,
like I'm gonna be a
man, I
mess.
can't. Oh my god, that's so. Oh, enjoy it. Oh, I can't even think about that. I can't think about that. But yeah, so we did. So we had the Friday Night Lights game, right? And then I was talking about you to a guy at the game yesterday. I'm like, because we got another 11 o'clock kick
Uh,
yesterday,
I
and
keep giving those late night kicks.
those are so terrible, right? Because this guy was from Kansas City, right? And I'm
Okay.
from St. Louis, and we're complaining on the way out, after the
Mhm.
game. Game took forever. Like the sun, it was hotter than we thought. Everybody's got too many clothes on. We're sitting in the sun. I'm sunburned, right? Because the sun's beating down on us the whole time because it's 11 o'clock kick. So you're out there from 11 to like 2:30, just getting sunburned.
Yeah.
And so this guy's like, man, these 11 o'clock kicks are killing me. I'm like, you're not kidding. We get all these 11 o'clock kicks. I was like, I got up at around 12. I was like, I got up at 4:30 so we can make this game. I was
Wow.
like, it's like our fourth, fifth, 11 o'clock kick. And I'm like, my buddy, he's a Michigan State guy, right? And he was just telling me they've had 5 7 o'clock games. I'm like, that'd be a dream. We never get a 7 o'clock game. I'm like, if that Oklahoma game is not a 7 o'clock game, it's our only shot. We're gonna that'll be our only one of the year.
Yeah.
Home game at seven
So the
o'clock.
Alabama game next week isn't like a
Nope,
7 o'clock.
because
Wow.
they lost. It would have been prime time, but they lost. So
Mhm.
we kept up our bargain because they lost. We're 2:30. I mean, at least
Hey,
for
that's better though. I mean,
yeah.
that's not a home game for you either, though. But
Honestly, it's better for us that it's not a 7 o'clock game because you don't want to play at Tuscaloosa at night. So it's to our advantage. It's on night game, to be honest, since it's
yeah,
there. But whatever. So yeah, but we never. But I was telling my buddies, I was like, I think this is their fifth game at Michigan State. They have a night.
yeah.
I'm like, how about us that have to drive 2 hours? He's like,
First game was the next two weren't. Then Boston College, Ohio State, Oregon, and then Iowa. Yeah, and then we're gonna have Michigan as a night game. Yeah, yeah. It's outrageous.
and they're so much fun. Night games are just a
They are
blast.
fun. They are fun. I mean, we
Man,
got Jason in the chat, man. He goes to all those games. Like, man, Jason texted me. He was like, "Dude, I can get you 2 tickets to if you want to go to the homecoming game against Iowa." But I was in Detroit, man. Oh, but
oh, dude,
yeah, but man, it was a good game.
because
Oh
we
yeah.
we played against your transfer quarterback yesterday. Beat him up.
Oh, that's right. He went to Auburn. That's right. I forgot
Yep.
about that.
Yep. Hello, Andrea and Rhonda Lee. All right.
Add another one to the list there, Mike.
All right. So I'm trying to see Instagram. Is it live? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, let's check in that. Hey, everybody over on Instagram. Benny, Beanie, Leslie, Jane, Lopez, 8.
I think Jason's on the west side of the state. I think.
Kristen,
Apologize if I'm wrong, but if so, I was over on yours. I was in Detroit yesterday, and I was in Grand Rapids area today. Kind of wild.
Carolyn on San Diego.
Oh, San Diego, love that town.
San Diego. Peter up in Massachusetts. All right,
We
let's
gotta
do
we gotta do another like Southern California trip with the families, and I want you to see San Diego.
I do want to see San
It's just
Diego.
so
So,
great.
dude.
Yeah, Jason, I was out that way today. I should hit you up.
All right, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get going here. All right, so I've done that. Let's see, got that out of the way. All right, we got our password too. So here we go. Oh wait, hang on. Here we go.
Password.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, October 20th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Hey. We're going to have the lines open for the next hour at 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395. We got to get to the second host, the co-host with the most. He's got a story to share from up in Michigan. I don't even know what it's about. Your friend and mine, hashtag Scotty G, hitting you with the pipes right about now.
Happy Sunday, Mike. And thanks everyone for those birthday wishes. Mike, my phone blew up and the Discord and everything. That was birthdays are whatever when you hit a certain age, but it was nice to see that a lot of people cared. And it wasn't my best day. I was at work, I was kind of grumpy, it was crazy busy work week, but I really appreciate all those messages. That was awesome. But yeah, I got to give a shout out, Mike. I got to give a shout out to our Lizards that ran the Detroit half marathon today. Today. It was an awesome course. You run through Detroit, you run through the streets of Windsor, you run across the river. I've done it many times, got to hang out with several of them. Oh, people are excited to talk about it, right?
Yes, they want to wish you birthdays, but
yes.
Sorry about
that. Got to see our friends, the Nymans, John Kroll, Neil. I hung out with him. And then I was on the east side of the state. Then today I went over to the west side of the state. I've been all over Michigan. I played golf in Belding, Michigan, and I called it the Say by the Bell Championship because, Mr. Belding, Say by the Bell, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And get this, Mike. I got my best ever round of golf today. My best score of all time. Isn't that wild?
Are you going to share what?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I should share the number because I'm not that great of a golfer, but I had a 43 on the front nine. I was 7 over on the front. And then I had a shot to shoot in the 80s, which is unheard of for me. I had to go double. So 3 double bogeys on the last 3 holes to shoot in the 80s. And I went double, triple, quad. I just couldn't handle the pressure, but I still got a 92. I beat my brother. Still my best. My previous best was 93. So it was fun, man. So I got my best round of golf ever. I was feeling good on the course. Then I got to hang out with our friend Wade, who was in Grand Rapids, because Belding wasn't too far away. So fun weekend for sure. It was a lot of fun.
First of all, I'm glad you had a great birthday and everybody brought your spirits up with all that. Social media is great for that, right? I mean, it kind of is overwhelming that people from all over the world can just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you for a few minutes."
It's really nice. It makes you realize, wow, I surround myself with great people. Is what I really realized.
It's amazing. Also, golf will get you. It's very into the golf season for folks that live in seasonal places like Michigan or like St. Louis. So man, what a time to have a great round. It'll get you through the winter, right? Get you that itch.
Absolutely. That's why I said if the season ended today, I'm happy. And I didn't tell you this. I chipped one in. I chipped one in 40 yards away, for a birdie today too. So that was nice. So it was a good round of golf for me, man. I was just I was hitting fairways, which I tend to do, but my drives were connecting. And the greens were aerated, which I don't know if you know what that means. Is when they get the greens ready for the next season and sand all over them. So they weren't the best conditions, but didn't matter for me. They say you should take 5 or 6 shots off your round with aerated greens. So in that case, I did shoot in the 80s. If you look at it that way.
Our front yard's aerated right now, just in case anybody wants to know.
Look at that.
My wife tells everybody it's not dog poop. It's aerated.
It's aerated.
It looks very similar. Anyway, if you know, you know. So the other thing that I was going to say is that, and now I totally forgot what I was going to say with the second thing because we got going on that. But okay, let's hit the topics because we got to talk Disney. We got so much to talk about. And we have a password. We've been doing this since last week. We've got this long-standing tradition of a week. And so the password, if you're going to call in to talk about any of our topics tonight, you have to tell us this to be able to move on to the call. The password is, you got to tell us your favorite Halloween candy and why, because the season is coming quickly. We have purchased our bulk Halloween candy to pass out today. Now, see, we had this conversation on the 2-hour drive home from Mizzou yesterday as when you should buy your Halloween candy to give out to the kids. I thought you should buy it a couple days before, right? Because I don't want that stuff sitting around. It's too tempting, man. I have a sweet tooth, that stuff sitting around because I'll be it won't make it till the 31st. But Pam, she says that it does sell out. If you wait too long, Target will not have it. Walgreens, Walmart. She doesn't like to go to Walmart. She has the thing. Like, I like Walmart. I think it's an experience. She doesn't like that experience, but whatever. But she says it'll sell out. So she did buy it today, and she always has to have like a hard candy, like a candy that's not chocolate, and then a chocolate candy. Like, so we have both.
Yes.
Um, so
Gotta have the distribution for those that like the chocolate and don't. Yes.
right. So we do now. I will say Mallory's on fall break now, right? She doesn't have school all this week. They're on fall break.
Oh, dang, that's
So
awesome.
she was at the gym while Pam went to the grocery store and came back with the candy. So we hid the candy. So Mallory has no idea the candy's in the house because she has a sweet tooth like me. So she has no idea that we got the candy. So it's hidden in our bedroom closet. But I know where it is because I was there. So this is tempting because we got good stuff. We got like, it's a variety pack with like Reese's and Hershey bar, like, all mini ones, but Twix. I mean, it's good stuff, man. If you come to our house, you're getting good stuff. So we got it. I mean, we're like, what, 12, 13, 14 days out, a couple weeks. I think maybe a little early, but she's worried they'd sell out. So where do you fall on that? Have you guys gotten Halloween candy to give out?
So great question. First off, I'm with Pam. Like, I know it's gonna upset you. I think you knew it, and our friend Simon, from the UK. But I don't care for Walmart, man. Walmart is not my scene. But even though I think I might have been with you once, or I went before you because I got to Walt Disney World early. Like, I was trying to get us like our Gatorades or waters for like a race weekend, and like Target was all out of everything. I went to like 3 Targets. I went to a Publix. I ended up having to break down and go to a Walmart in Florida. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be quite the experience. And it was I survived it. But I'm with you, man, because I think you're gonna eat this candy. Like, you're gonna have that candy sitting in the
you go
bowl,
for
and it's
one,
just gonna
right?
toast you, man.
You go for one, and then it's
Yeah.
like, I was like, boo, 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 boo,
Oh yeah.
5. Yeah, it's
It's
not good.
dangerous. And like another thing, I know you just work in the office, but that's like an office thing too, especially after Halloween. When after Halloween is over, like that first week, like everyone's got like on their cubicle, like this big old dish of candy that they're just kind of trying to get rid of. And like you can't walk anywhere. You have to like shield your eyes as you're walking through the building so that you don't see it. But I'm team like Halloween is on a Thursday. I say we're gonna buy it next weekend. Like next Sunday is probably when we're gonna buy it. And I hope it's not out. Like now I'm worried because of Pam's theory that it might be out.
That's what I was thinking. I'm with you. I was gonna wait at least till next weekend, but she's a prepper though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
she's
know.
she's more prepared than I am, and I trust her because I don't buy
And
anything.
Liz is a prepper too, but like our thought would probably be like, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. We're not handing out candy.
Right,
That's what
but
it'll
you're
be.
out the light. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we sit on the front porch and like to give it out to the kids.
Mhm.
That's
That's
the
fun. It's fun
that's
to do.
fun. See the
Problem
cop.
is we're in the back of the neighborhood. So I think like and our neighborhood is loaded, like huge families. And my friend Jake, who like lives a few neighborhoods over, he's actually gonna come to ours, which that's always kind of weird too. Like when like non-neighborhood people come over, but I want everyone to have a chance and have fun, right? But I think people just don't realize that the neighborhood goes that far back. So like we're like in the back of the hood, and like sometimes we just don't get as many candy goers, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Well, I mean, come see Scotty G up in East Lansing, get the candy. I'm just
And I
saying.
always have the Boo to You soundtrack
There
playing
you
too. So
go.
like I'm always ready.
It's a multi-sensory experience, people. Let's go.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, so we need to know your favorite Halloween candy and why. So
Someone gonna come in and be like, baked barbecue chips is my favorite because like that. My favorite
yes,
Animal
yeah,
Kingdom. My favorite Epcot
yes,
snack was the Animal
yes.
Kingdom
It'll
one.
be a chili dog from
That's,
Phillips 66 gas station in Arlington, Texas. It'll be like that.
oh
It was
man.
not the question, but we will accept it. Okay. So got stuff to talk about. Lightning Lane Premiere Pass dropped.
Oh, I forgot about that already.
I know, for real. It seems like it was a month ago. It was since last week. We're going to talk about that. Got thoughts? Give us a call about that. We also have the Brooks and Run Disney collaboration that dropped this week, kind of like New Balance and Run Disney back in the day. There's going to be Run Disney shoes again, but they're going to be Brooks. Also, I think Brooks is going to put out the shirts now instead of
Yes, I talked to Wade about that today, and I was like, that's something I'm super excited about because I liked the champion shirts that they
Yep,
had.
I
Like
agree. Yep, Champions.
those are like pre-pandemic. I'd say I think it was after the pandemic when they started changing the shirts, or maybe it was like 2019. But then, yeah, the sleeves are like super long on them,
They
like
are
they fit
super long.
weird.
And I mean,
Yeah,
I'm super tall, dude. I got long arms and
just
they're
like how
long.
they are on me. And so like I don't even like, and that's what I was saying the way like I don't even wear the shirts because of that, and like You would think like Disney would want people to wear those race shirts. I mean, I know they don't have a problem selling out these races, but like I'm not giving the advertising from wearing the shirts. I wear the jackets and stuff that I buy, but like I'm excited about the race shirt so much because like we really need a change there.
Yeah. So if you have opinions on that, and in the chat, Jason says Brooks is his running shoe of choice. Is pretty excited for the shoes. Um, it's been a
I
minute
wasn't
since we.
excited for it. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I mean, it's been a minute, right, since we've had the whole Run Disney shoe experience. Because I mean, I guess it's been almost 10 years, maybe at least, since we
Yeah.
had those shoes. And I mean, you and I had all the shoes back in the day. We
I
got them.
remember my first Mickey, those sorcery Mickey ones, those red and black ones. Those were like my Corvette shoes, man. I only took it out like on a nice sunny dry day, man. I
Yeah.
was not wearing those, and they weren't going to be exposed to rain or mud. No way in heck.
Yes, I mean, you're. I mean, I had them like I had. So the ones that I like the most, and we'll talk about some other stuff. Oh, we get the first call in, but I got to tell. Hang on, let me get the call in here real quick. Caller, hang on 1 second. I got to finish this thought. So I had the shoes that I liked the most were the Mickey ones that were red and blue. Remember, they're mostly red, but they were
Yeah, I
kind
know
of
those
blue.
too. Yeah,
I had 2 pair of those because again, it was like my Corvettes. Like I had the ones that I wore every day, but then I had a pair that I wore as my teaching shoes. Like I wore them to teach because I always wore jeans when I taught, so they were okay with jeans. But I mean, it was like the other ones I wore them so much I just destroyed them. But they were comfortable because they're just New Balance shoes. But I mean, you had
I
like
love
the
those shoes.
the Goofies, the
I
Mickey.
never got the Toy Story ones. Those were like
I never had
those
those
orange
either.
ones, man. I'm jealous. I still see them on race weekends. I'm jealous of those that have them. But it sounds like we have a caller though, right?
We do have a caller. We're going to get in. Tracy, we see your question over on Instagram. So hang tight. We'll answer that after this call. Hey, caller, who's this?
Hey, this is Elizabeth. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, we appreciate you calling in, Elizabeth. And we're thinking about you guys out there with Helene and all the impacts out there. So hope you're doing better.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate that. The password is Reese's Cup or possibly peanut M&Ms because, and the reasoning is, I think when I have the peanut butter or the peanuts, I feel like it's protein and I feel a little more justified.
That's
I like the peanut butter M&Ms. That's my M&M of choice. But
what's the difference between a peanut butter M&M and a Reese's Pieces? Nothing. Shape.
Nothing.
ET. Marketing. Go ahead, Elizabeth. What you got? That's I like that answer because I could go with either one of those right now.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good answers.
Same. Sign me up. So, well, first of all, you just broke the news to me about the Brooks shoes. I cannot tell you how excited I am about that. I have some of the New Balance. I saved them. I have the Cinderella and I have the Haunted Mansion ones. And I try to save them for the parks, but honestly, they're pretty worn out and I shouldn't be really wearing them at the parks because, you're putting in like 10, 20,000 steps. But I'm so excited to hear that Brooks is partnering because I'm a Brooks wearer anyway. I'm a big Run Disney participant. And so thanks for sharing that. I'm really excited about those. I'm going to have they announced like any of the designs yet or just a partnership?
No, the only thing we know is that it's coming in 2025 for the race season. So possibly marathon weekend or Disneyland or,
Could it be Wine and Dine though? Because like that kind of starts the 2025 race season. That's the one thing I was talking about with Wade. Like, I don't know. It could start in Wine and Dine. I don't know. But
I mean, that's close. But
Elizabeth,
nice.
Real quick, what is a design you'd like to see on a shoe? First thing that comes to your mind, what would you like to see?
Oh gosh. I would say something. I think I like the parks related, like the attraction, the nod to the attraction that maybe I'm not thinking of anything specific. Maybe a Cinderella castle type.
I like that.
Thing.
I was thinking like some teacups for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I like that. I like the castle.
Did they not have teacups? Did New Balance do it? They did several attraction shoes. New Balance did.
Maybe they did. Maybe that's why the teacups came to my mind because I remember like Space Mountain and Haunted Mansion. I thought there was like another. Maybe it was
Andrew on
teacups.
Facebook right now. He's mentioned he's got his Space Mountain shoes. He said he only wear them twice running and was not intentional. He must have forgot his sneakers.
So cool. But I really just wanted to call and you said if you had an opinion on the new Premier Lightning Lane Pass. I've seen a lot of talk about it on social media, and mostly it's negative, mostly people complaining about the cost. And I just wanted to share my 2 cents, no pun intended, that with the Premier Lightning Lane, to me, it is just an added, it's just an added option for people that have that budget. I do not. And I'm not going to be purchasing it, but it doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me angry. Our family's been to Universal a couple of times. We've been to Disney countless, but we never purchased their whatever their version of the Premier Lightning Lane is. We never did that, and we had a great time. And we do get I don't know what it's called now, the Genie Plus, the light, and sometimes individual Lightning Lanes when we visit Walt Disney World now, but we won't be purchasing the Premier Pass. But I'm not angry about it. It's expensive because I'm guessing that they don't, the whole point is for a lot of people to not have it. And I just like to think that maybe it's just going to be a few less people in the standby line. And so maybe it'll work out. So that's just kind of how I feel about the new Premier Lightning Lane.
I love how that is so reasonable and well thought out. It's just rational to me. And I think, because social media is like a hot take, kind of situation for everybody. Right. And that's just reasonable and well thought out, because they're not going to sell, 10,000 of these things. And I don't think it's going to jam the lines personally. For one thing, because of the cost, this is very out of reach for a lot of people, because families obviously, or very few families, can afford this on a daily basis. And it's basically a VIP kind of guide situation without the VIP guide to me. It's that same clientele. That's just kind of how I see it. I don't think it's going to affect the standby lines significantly enough that you would ever notice it, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to affect Mike Rallman too much as a park experience at all. I don't think I would even notice it if nobody would have ever.
I agree.
If they would have never announced it, I don't think I would have ever even known it was taking place.
Yeah, I agree. And, along the lines of definitely not wanting to go here yet again, but things like the Cake Bake Shop, right, where the same conversation is happening about, people claiming that Disney is pricing people out. I do think it's a little different, one added restaurant that is something that's going to be out of, my family's vacation budget is okay, as long as they don't slowly start replacing places like ESPN Club with places like Cake Bake Shop. Like, don't take Chicken Guy from me. Don't take Earl of Sandwich. Don't take Columbia Harbor House or ABC Commissary. As long as we continue to have a variety of options, I am just a believer that you can, spend a literal fortune on a Walt Disney World vacation, but you can also do it on a fairly reasonable budget.
I agree. I think that's, and I think it's brilliant, like to keep the scales even, right? I think that if you're going to announce something like a Cake Bake Shop that's on the higher end, the very, it's going again for a certain clientele, you could really, win the day on social media by putting out a place that is, very aggressively family friendly. I'm saying? It doesn't have to be cheap.
Sure.
It just has to be a good value. Like there's Pam Forster really, as she came onto the show, and we started doing this back in like 2008, 2009, 2010. She really started preaching about like what's value as opposed to, not expensive. And she talked about that. And I started thinking about it. And as Disney would bring on, like you said, Chicken Guy or something like Columbia Harbor House, like a lot of times that's a good value in dining. You know what I'm saying? You're getting and the value is different to everybody, right? It's not the same for everybody, but I see it as a good value, like ABC Commissary. Like I feel like I'm getting a good meal for my buck. In a lot of reasons, but I think Disney could win the day by, counteracting, saying, okay, we're going to bring this restaurant to, the spot that maybe the, what was that place? Big River Grill was in, like kind of a blue collar type sports grill. It's not the same scale as ESPN Club, but, something that just serves, bar food at decent prices.
Yeah. And of course, we're having this conversation in just about the same breath that I just confessed I'm probably going to buy a couple of pair of sneakers for a few $100 each that I'm not even going to use as running shoes. So, I guess like you said, value is kind of in the eye of the beholder, shall we say.
100%. I know. And we'll be all like, they're going to have like a virtual queue, right? We'll be like sweating it out. Like, oh my gosh, we'll be all standing in a huddle with like 12 other lizards, like, oh my gosh, what number did you get? Did you like we're all like, syncing up to the satellites to make sure we got the right time to hit the virtual. We are.
What's going to happen, Mike? They're going to sell more of those Club Run Disney memberships so that you can actually get in the queue to spend hundreds on the shoes.
Stop. That is wrong.
Hey, I need Mike Bankhead to get me the link to get me in the queue. That's what I need.
Well, here,
right.
That's all I hear with this. It's about what I've learned as I get a little bit older is that, we all work hard for our money and we all spend it in ways that makes us happy. If it's Disney vacation, that's what
Exactly
it is.
right.
If it's sneakers, that's what it is. And so whatever makes you 100%. Hey, so I love that you're nursing those New Balance shoes, man. That is something. That's the thing I'm still stuck on from 5 minutes ago. That you are still like Scott with his thing. He's like,
I got my Corvette ones, man.
Corvettes, like he keeps them in the garage, and he only takes them out on sunny days when it's between 75 and 80.
I do have a pair of New Balance Disney shoes that are my lawn mowing shoes too. So I have both ends of the spectrum there.
I love it.
It's a source. It was the Steamboat Willie one. Didn't I do much? Those black ones or the Steamboat Willie? Like
I have those. Well,
it's my least favorite of them. So there's my lawn mowing shoe.
I gotta tell you that real quick though, Elizabeth. So did Jocelyn not get us those, Scott, at like a outlet mall or something? Because she texted me during church. And so I was in the middle of church and my preacher was preaching and she's like, I gotta know in the next 5 minutes, what size do you wear and how many do you want? Because they were dirt cheap. She was an outlet mall. I'm like, oh, so the preacher's preaching and I'm like in the second row. But the preacher, I book his travel, right, for his wife. So I'm like, if I get busted for texting, I have a story. So Donna Root, shout out, because she's probably listening to the show. I was texting during your husband's, because he's retired now. I was texting during his sermon. But I was trying to get my Run Disney shoes. This was like 10 years ago. And you're right. I was not a big fan of those. They were just kind of black and white and they weren't as comfortable. The Steamboat Willies. Yeah. They were a little bit off.
I got them though.
I do. I have mine too because I didn't wear them as much. Oh man, what a great call, Elizabeth. Awesome. We appreciate you. That was awesome.
Sure. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night. Good to talk to you.
Hey, give us a call some other time. We appreciate you. Have a good week.
Of course.
The worst one though was Mike.
All right.
That I bought I think you got Mallory them too. I think she was able to get a kid size. Emily had to get a woman size for those Little Mermaid shoes.
Yep.
And because the kids shoes were cheaper, but Emily could not fit into a kid's one, so we had to get a women's. And I it was 3 weeks and it was done. Like she was already outgrown them in like 3 weeks, man. That was like $160 pair of shoes for 3 weeks. I should have just like kept them in the box as like a relic, Yeah.
I know. And the thing was, like, it was so much effort. Like, I remember one time, like, standing outside, like, for a long time and then going in, like, a side door to get them. I mean, it was almost like a speakeasy or something to get those shoes.
I loved them, though, man. I love those shoes.
So, like, when you look back on that, if you tell somebody, like, what you did to get a pair of shoes, they're like, shut up. You did not. Like, I did. Like, you get a pair of Mickey shoes.
Like, some Jordans.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. When a call drops off, that is your cue to get in here. We could talk about the Run Disney. What are you excited for? What would you like to see? I would like to see a shoe that is specific to each race weekend. So if, marathon weekend, they have not just like a dopey shoe or a, like which they've had in the past, but like
they had like a goofy shoe, didn't they? At one point,
yeah, they did. Yeah, like because I had those orange ones. I actually like those. They were kind of bright, man. Those things were.
I liked them. I was jealous of those.
I did like those. They were super bright. Actually, I wore those things a lot. But I would like if they just did like a marathon weekend shoe or like did a wine and dine weekend shoe. Like it was kind of purple and like I don't know what color is marathon weekend, but a springtime surprise shoe or something, that'd be kind of cool. But that'd be my guess. But real quick though, while we're waiting for the next call, so give us a call. Scott, what was your initial thoughts when you heard about the Lightning Lane Premier Pass? Like
very similar to what Elizabeth said. I loved her commentary on that. I mean, I will say I was a little shocked by the price when I saw that. I'm like, holy cow. And it dropped like at 6 a.m. on a Wednesday. That was like really weird too. Like when the news came out. But my initial thought was like, I wish they were doing something they did at Disneyland Paris. Like when we went to Disneyland Paris, we had that same thing, right? It was one of their like main attractions. You can go in at any time. You couldn't do like Big Thunder twice, but you could do Big Thunder and all those other ones, and you could park hop. You could use both parks. But that price they're talking about, that price point for Magic Kingdom, was about what it cost for the three of us to have it. I think it might have been like $560 or whatever for the day for the three of us to do it. So I liked that price point a heck of a lot better than like $1,200. But my biggest thing was like, man, that's a bummer you can't park hop, is what I thought. Like that's a bummer that you can't park hop, because I think that value would be better that way. But yeah, if people want to pay for it, that's fine. But I don't think it's really going to impact my vacation at all. But I was just a little taken back, like, wow, that is a crazy price point.
Well, and it doesn't include park admission. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have your 200, $150, $200 to get into the park on top of that per person.
It's an expensive day. And maybe they'll learn from it. Maybe they'll see some things. Like I think a lot of Disney things are trial and error. So maybe they'll see this and maybe they'll adapt to what Disneyland Paris does. Maybe that's something they'll do. They'll learn how many people are buying it. And I don't know, but like it just seemed out of the gate. It was a little high, but they know their audience better than I do, right? So
plus, I think about this too. We got our next caller. So, caller, we're gonna get you in here. But here's the thing too. Something like this, I would think, has to be almost pure profit, right? I mean,
that's true.
I mean, if they sell 10 of them, it's like it has to be pure profit. I mean, there's really not a loss to it, you know. So why not try to charge $1 bajillion off the bat? And if you got to drop it a little bit, so you just don't make quite as
people have it in their budget, right? Let them be.
I mean, I'm not really a business person, but I was just thinking that. All right, hey, caller, thanks for being patient. Who do we have?
Hi, Mike. Hi, Scott. It's Paul from New Jersey.
Paul, how's it going, buddy?
Glad to have you.
All right, how you guys doing?
Great. It's a good weekend.
Awesome. You guys had what I call the both of you, right? With Michigan State, Missouri, Detroit today, the cosmic rewind of football ride.
Yes. With September playing and you throw in a Michigan loss, a Wolverine loss too. Like, I mean, it was just spectacular.
Oh.
And how we destroyed our rivals across town on Friday night. I mean, it's just it's a beautiful place.
Oh, that kid, you said third quarter, he had 5 touchdowns already, right? That was amazing.
Yes. I mean, if we'd have left the kid in, they'd have had to call the police.
Well, Paul's got to answer the password, Mike.
Yes, you got to answer the password. It's too long. What do you got?
And your wonderful caller from Charlotte took my reasoning, but actually my research tells me my favorite is Snickers bar.
Oh,
see, I have.
Go ahead.
And
the reasoning is the protein. It's the same thing. I feel less guilty. You know, it's like, hey, I'm getting some protein here. You know, I like the combination of ingredients, but you know, I also feel a little better about it myself.
I don't know if it's ever been stated on the show. Maybe I'm sure it has, because my life's an open book over 16 years of this podcast. But nougat makes me gag. It's a thing.
Ooh.
Like that was my thing when I taught. Like all the teachers knew it. Nougat tastes to me like a pencil eraser. I cannot do nougat. It's just I can't. I love Snickers ice. I like Snickers ice cream bars.
Pumpkin. You had mentioned pumpkin in the clubhouse.
I can't do pumpkin either. Pumpkin just looks like something else. Like pumpkin, the color of it and the texture. I cannot get past that. That color is just wrong. It just doesn't look good. But Snickers, nougat, there's something about it. Like it looks like it kind of just looks and tastes like I mean, because I was a kid, right? I mean, everybody chewed on a pencil eraser like in 2nd grade. That's just kind of what I think nougat tastes like.
Let me ask you too, if you ever heard this candy. So one year at Not So Scary Halloween Party, you know, I'm not really looking what they're putting in our bags, right? You're just going up to the trick-or-treat stations, high-fiving the cast members. Thank you. Great energy and all that. Then you go back to your room, right? And then you do the dump on the bed is what we do, right?
Yep.
You just do the candy dump.
Oh, yeah.
Emily loves to sort them by flavors and all this stuff, colors. Like does like all this like data analytics on the candy. And one year,
Jason would love that. Jason would absolutely love that.
She's got so many charts of candies, like by color, by calories, by this type. Is there nuts in it? Like whatever. Like,
like a graph, you know, up in the upper quadrant, we have
exactly. That's for you, Jason. Actually, that's a great idea. We should do that for Not So Scary. But there was this one particular candy, like I don't know if it was a regional thing or what. I've never heard of it. So any Florida friends, whatever. But I got to ask you too, since you're on the phone. It was something called peanut chews. Have you ever heard of a peanut chew?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. It's like comes in like a brown wrapper, right? With a little.
It was a
bit
brown,
of,
so like kind of similar to a Snickers, like almost like kind of looked very similar, like not as thick. But yeah, peanut chew. I've never seen that before. We had a ton of them that night from the party, and I've never seen it again.
Yeah, we have those in New Jersey too. Yeah, we have
Okay.
peanuts. I still prefer the Snicker, but it is interesting. I didn't know it was regional.
I don't know if it is or not, but I've never seen it in like Michigan. So
Yeah, we don't
that's
have
funny.
those here. I've never had those.
Okay, well, I didn't make it up. It does exist. Like it wasn't my imagination. But yeah.
I was saying you guys slipped a Mickey or something.
Yeah,
All
but
right,
Paul, I remember though it was brown. But yeah, anyway. So Paul, what do you think? What's your Disney topic? What are you thinking about?
Oh wait. Between Emily and Jason, we'd have to know like where does the peanut chew fall in the quadrants? Is it near the sweet spot? Is it where you want to be? Is it an outlier? We don't know. These are important things.
We don't know. We that's why we got to go to the experts and have them come up with the chart for us.
That's right. First, Scott, 92, phenomenal. I knew you had it in you. Can't wait
Thank
till
you, sir.
your first 80.
Yeah, well, maybe next week. It'll be nice weather. Maybe I can get in the 80s next week. But it's baby steps, right? Yeah.
Yep. I had two Disney things. One was to jump in on the conversation with the Premiere Pass thing. I was thinking, as listening to everybody, it would have been a great one for the show a couple of weeks ago when if we went back 10 or 15 years and we said to somebody, you won't believe this. You won't believe they're going to charge 3 times of a ticket price to get a fast pass for every ride at Magic Kingdom. Like it does seem very, very high, but hey, like the cake
This
shop
used to
we've been
be
talking about for the last
thing.
2 weeks, somebody's going to pay it, right? Somebody's going to pay it.
Yeah. We used to get those for free.
It is, but I mean, it's one of those things though. It's almost like it's just the evolution of things, right? I mean, life has just changed so much that like I'm going to do a Mike in the Midwest about this in the next few weeks, right? It just and there's that meme that shows how many things in the 80s that we carry in our pocket in our cell phone, right? You've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the guy surrounded by like a boombox that was huge, and all the books that you have on your phone and all the games and all this and that. And it's just, it's amazing. Like the things that we think that no way, but I mean, it's just the way the world has gone. And yes, I mean, and the rumblings were coming down the road over the past year that this was coming. This answer to Universal's Express Pass. I mean, I knew this was coming. I mean, I'd heard it, and the price point kind of shocked me. But the price point has to be that because if it's accessible to everybody, it does mess up the system. It has to be super high because if they make this accessible to a lot of people, it totally screws everything up. I want it to be expensive because I don't want like a lot of people buying it. I want it's me because if I'm not getting it, I don't want very many people getting it at all. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're not getting it, you don't want a lot of people to buy it.
Isn't it only like deluxe resort guests can buy it? That's just like a temporary thing, or that's just how it's starting, right? Or something?
Well, I mean, think about this. I mean, think about the motives, right? I mean, Disney wants to maximize profits. I mean, that's always the bottom line, and that drives room sales, and room sales at deluxe resorts obviously are a big profit center for them.
Yeah.
And so think about that. I mean, you get people in deluxe resorts, and it's usually going to be a multi-night stay that includes, for most people, it's going to include tickets. It's not going to be annual pass holders for the most part. And boom. And then you add that kind of premium on top of that day. Man, I mean, I'm telling you, it's a big deal. Oh, Paul, I mean, are we on the right track here? I mean, because what it does, I mean, I was talking to somebody else about this earlier this week. Really what it does, bottom line is it takes the planning. You're buying your way out of any kind of planning, right? You can just show up. If you have the money, you can just show up to a park. You okay? You all right, Paul?
Do we lose Paul?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, you fell or got hit by a car.
I think Goofy just came out.
I was like, oh my God, he just fell out.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're still there. No, here's what I think it does, though, right? If you have the money, what it does, it takes all the planning out that I think a lot of us enjoy. We got a kind of a kick out of it, but you could just, I mean, if you have the money right now, you could buy that pass, walk into the Magic Kingdom on a day and ride every attraction and not even think about it. Because you can do the individual lightning lane attractions now and just not even have to think about it. Boom. And just it's the Elvis treatment.
Completely carefree. Yeah. In that way, it reminds me kind of a dining plan on steroids, right? Like we talked, I think a couple shows ago or months ago about, what the dining plan was when it first came out, and you got an appetizer, you got a dessert, you got tip included that first year, and then they weaned it down. And now most people know it's more expensive to buy the dining plan than if you bought it a la carte, but it's very convenient. I know my own family, my sister-in-law and her family, they'll always buy the dining plan because they don't have to stress or think over it. And this just takes it to another level. Like, you don't have to go and look at your phone or do, like you said, some of the things we all enjoy. If you want to spend the money, you can literally carefree go one ride to the next and just go right in the lightning lane. It's got its perks.
You know what's funny? Here's the thing from personal experience. And now I know not a lot of people have had this opportunity, but if you had this pass at the Magic Kingdom, let's say, and you had the opportunity to do every experience in the Magic Kingdom in a day, I bet you're not going to do every experience in the Magic Kingdom in a day because it's exhausting. Like if you had a family, it's tiring because you got to stop and you got to eat, you got to go to the bathroom, you're going to want to, it's a lot. I mean, maybe, but I guess if you're spending that money, you're going to power through. But I mean, here's the thing, Scott, and let me get Scott in here on this because he's a family man and he knows, like we've both had kids, right? Doing this. When you try to power through, and we've tried this as parents, that's when you're forcing fun. And that's when that's always a bad decision at Disney, right? I mean, it always has been for me. Like when I'm like, let's just try to power through and try to do a little bit more. For me, that's always not the right answer.
Yeah. Forcing the fun is no good. And it is a tiring day, but like, I feel like if you're spending that kind of money, like, and we'll try to do this like one day a trip, right? Say we're there for 5 or 6 nights. We're like, all right, we're going to just go hard one day, right? We're going to park hop. We're going to try to do as much as we can. Like maybe we'll take a small break in the midday because I need a break, Mike. I don't know about you. I need that break.
Me too.
Whether even if it's only for an hour, I need the air conditioned bus, midday for sure. But yeah, like, so I could see like if you're just saying like we're going to get one day of this ticket or whatever, and we're just going to go super hard. We're going to do all the stuff. And then I could see it that way, but yeah, if you're just like casually just trying to do it, like I guess it's not for all the attractions though, right? It's only going to be for the ones that take
that lightning lane. Yeah.
So you still got to go.
But I mean, think about it though. You're going to probably want to do the other ones too, because I mean, that's kind of the heart of it. Here's what I'm trying to get at. The first time I went down for a media event, it was for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train grand opening, right? And I'm a huge fan, right? I was super stoked. We got invited to that. I got to go down and ride it before it opened. But they gave us a magic band over at Wilderness Lodge is where they put us up. And I had no idea, right? I was just excited because right when magic bands came out, they were like pretty new. It had Seven Dwarfs. It was like the first one I ever saw that was branded. It had like a design on it. And it had like a little Seven Dwarfs Mine Train on it. I was like super excited. Well, I ran into Lou Mangello and I was like, hey, Lou, whatever. I was kind of fanning at that time and talking to him and, like he's being nice to me. And he's like, so have you used it yet? I'm like, used what? He's like, your magic band. I'm like, yeah, like it got me in my room. It's like, awesome. He's like, you don't know? I'm like, what? He's like, that magic band has unlimited fast passes. Because remember, fast passes were free back then. I'm like, I totally thought he was trolling me. I'm like, shut up. It does not. He's like, yeah, these things, they have unlimited fast passes. I'm like, I'm like, shut up. So I just walked away and I went down to Roaring Fork and got like a sandwich. I was hungry. But then I'm like, what if it's true? Like in the back of my mind, I'm eating the sandwich. I'm like, what if it's true? So you know what I did? As soon as I ate that sandwich really fast, I got on a boat and went over to the Magic Kingdom. And I was like, I'm just going up to Space Mountain and I'm going to put this thing up to that thing and to see what happens. I'm like, if it beeps and goes red or whatever, what do I lose, right? I'll get on the people mover. I'm an idiot. But I mean, and he totally like played me, and I'm like, he got me. Like, I'd totally do that to somebody else. I'd totally do that to somebody, and I'll just be like, dude, you got me so hard. But dude, that thing turned green. You should have seen my eyes. It was like, bing. I was like, shut up. So okay, so it was like 5:00. The park was open till 9. We didn't have anything till the next day. Dude, in 4 hours, I could do anything I wanted in the Magic. I was so tired because I never stopped. I was just like, bing, 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 bing. That was back when it took forever to meet Anna and Elsa. I didn't have a reason to meet Anna and Elsa, but the line was like 2 hours. I went through that fast pass line. I was on everything. I got back to the hotel, and this was only 4 hours. Dude, I was more tired than when I ran a half marathon because of the adrenaline. It was just like I never stopped. And I mean, you don't understand. Like, that's what that would be like. You would just be nonstop in it. And it's more, I mean, I know it's like first world problem, but you would be more tired than you would expect. You would just be, it'd be fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. It's like these other people didn't even, here's the sad thing is all these people that were at this media event, they all were still hanging out at the hotel. None of them used their media pass. Dude, I was like, I'm living the dream. Like I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like the only one out of all these people that even went and used it. I'm like, shut up. I'm using this thing till it burns up.
And I do like what our friend Brandon said in the chat too. He's like running ride to ride because you paid for it no longer feels like a vacation. And I get that because you feel like you got to do it, right? You have to do it because you're paying for it. And I'll be honest, like I don't like 90-minute queues. I'll be real, but I don't mind like a 30-minute queue sometimes or a 40-minute queue because my family just stands there and we talk to each other. I mean, sometimes yes, we'll go to our phones and we'll look at a couple things, but a lot of times we're interacting with each other. And if you're in those going ride to ride, going in those short lines, you're not really like. I mean, sometimes those queues get backed up a little bit on the fast pass lane too, but like sometimes, man, boom, you just go right up there, you do the ride, you watch the next one, like you were just saying, Mike, and you never really have time to interact with your family even.
Right. It was different because I was solo, right? So I was just
I was just thinking like if you're paying that much money, like you're not even going to talk to your family some of the day,
right?
You know?
Right. And I mean, kids can't keep up with that pace. I mean, I'd imagine most of these are families. I mean, like you'd be running like a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old. You'd be running them ragged for a day around the Magic Kingdom. I don't know. I mean,
I can't. I'm not knocking the system. I don't want people to think that we're being negative about it. I'm not at all. If it works for you, that's great. Yeah, I want to work for people, and if I would love to hear someone that uses it once it's available. Like talk about it at Disneyland. I think Disneyland's is going to be better because you can park hop for sure. That's going to be a better use. Yeah.
But you would be tired. I mean, obviously you'd want to get your money's worth. And I mean,
that's what we did for our day at Disneyland Paris. Like we were exhausted, but we used it for every single ride that we could, but we only had the day. So it made sense, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be fun because it would be an experience, right? That day would be an adventure. I mean, I'd be willing to do it. That's what I said. Like I got those 4 hours, dude. I was just gone, dude. I still remember it. I had the best time, but man, I was exhausted. I was so.
But I know we got Paul on the line. We keep talking about it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, I'm just enjoying this conversation.
You got us going. You got us going.
It's making me think. It's like that's why there's vanilla and chocolate, right? Like I hope for people who want it, who buy it, they feel at the end they got their money's worth. But you both made great points. And Scott, yours about getting to interact with your family and some of the queues if it's a reasonable wait. I mean that's the memories we take away from the trip. We don't sit there and say, oh wow, do you remember how thrilling Cosmic Rewind was that time? Like if you rode it a few times, it's the same ride. It might be something you observed as a family, it might be something you laughed about or a story you told. It's more about that concentrated family time. And Mike, a few weeks ago, you warned about, the dangers of what not to do. And don't, in the afternoon, when you're thinking about the break, don't do that one more thing. And man, if the system ever tempted you with one more thing, it would be unlimited fast pass, right? It's again.
Yeah, you would never take the break.
Guys, I don't want to knock it. I hope it's good for who does it. But it's it's not a no-brainer, right? It's got its downfalls.
This kind of clientele too might not be trying to squeeze it for every dime it's worth either. You know what I'm saying? They might not. Mm-hmm. If you have that kind of money, you might be fine just doing half of the attractions at the pace you want and walking away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying we all might be looking at this from a different point of view even than we're expecting. Who knows? Everybody's got different,
the one that gets me the most though is like Animal Kingdom in a way. Because like
100% on that one, dude. There's no way.
I mean, I love Animal Kingdom Park. We all know it's one. I mean, I just love that place, but like there's not many rides where you can have that opportunity to use it, and you can only use it once per ride. And like it's just that's wild to me. No pun intended, but it is.
Yeah, because you would be out of there pretty quickly if you wanted to be.
Yeah. Only if you were just like, okay, if you're trying to do some kind of challenge that day or something, right? Because maybe you can buy like individual lightning lanes at other parks, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, I could see some people using this for like, I'm going to do all the rides in one day kind of thing, or because people like doing those challenges. I think they're fun. And I could see like maybe you doing that then. I wonder if you could buy multiple. Could you buy like a Hollywood Studios and an Animal Kingdom one in the same day? I wonder.
How big's your credit line?
That's actually when you should just get the VIP tour at that point, honestly.
Yeah, no kidding, because you can hop. I know. Yeah.
Oh
You
man.
guys got me thinking about it. You ever see the old movie Brewster's Millions?
I've seen.
Where he had to spend the fortune to get the fortune.
Yeah, he had to get rid of
Richard
the
Pryor, maybe?
Yes,
Or,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. That one. You got me different ways to think of how to spend money. Like if you bought every premiere in every park for a whole day, right? How much money can we spend for a family of 12 or whatever? You go through a lot of cash, but I wonder if you could do it.
Maybe
Disney would let you
get a private room get that room in the back of California Grill that looks on the Bay Lake side too for afterwards. Have like a private dinner.
Brooks Run Disney sneakers for everybody.
Actually, that would be a fun episode, Mike. Like, how can you make the most expensive day at Disney? Like, you have unlimited funds. Like, what are you doing? Like, where are you staying? While you're eating? I kind of like that idea.
Gardner's Millions. There you go. That's how we'll do it. All right, Paul, we're going to try to get a couple more calls for the top of the hour, but man, it's always good to talk to you. And thanks for, man, you stirred it up tonight. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I was going to give you a trip report, but I just want to close with the highlight of it.
Yes.
I want to get other people get a chance. The last trip we went on a couple weekends ago. All I'll tell you, it was fantastic. In the same trip, Living with the Land, People Mover, got September on Cosmic Rewind, saw Impressions de France, and Voices of Liberty twice. Guys, good night. Have a great week. Who could ask for more than that?
That's a great trip. Living with the Land, Impressions de France, and yeah, I'll take
it. That's actually what my premiere pass would be. Like, I just get to. I'd be like, no Beauty and the Beast show today. You're running Impressions de France all day.
Flip it. I paid this money.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you, buddy.
Thanks,
have a good week. All right.
Care.
See you later. Bye-bye. All right. 407-413-9395.
I like your lower third there, Mike.
9395. So what I did, it's behind the scenes. So on your top line where you enter your name, I just put that little line there. It's a shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my top line, and then under that where I put I just changed it. Yeah,
that's how I do like my signature at work, kind of something like that.
Yeah, I like it. I saw that on another podcast that I listened to, so I changed it.
We got in the chat most expensive day. I'm just gonna stay at the castle. Actually, you win. That's how you do it.
We can't all be Mariah Carey, but she's thawing out for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is you coming your way.
Oh man, she's got like 11 days.
Dude, it's coming. All right, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey guys, it's Brandon up in New Hampshire. How are you guys?
Brandon. Good to hear from you, and I bet you're in the most beautiful place in the world right about now.
Yeah, we have the least peeper buses popping up and showing up to take pictures of our covered bridges with all the dying leaves behind them. So it's fantastic, Mike.
Very nice. Appreciate that. So what's on your mind? Oh, you got password Halloween candy, and why? What's your favorite?
Oh, the best Halloween candy for me as a kid was always the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I mean, you couldn't beat it if it was the small ones, the full package, even the Reese's Pieces. I mean, anything peanut butter chocolate mixed together. Come on.
Great combo.
I think if we have a big BOGP party, it's going to have to be cups, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and pieces all around.
So sorry for those with the peanut allergy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. You'll have to have EpiPens. I have one myself, so I get it. So I understand. All right. So Brandon, what's on your mind?
Me too, Mike. I'm a bee sting guy.
Yeah,
I don't have a choice.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Go. What you got?
My whole point, what I put there in the chat there was, if you're a family of 4 and you spent, say, Magic Kingdom with this new pass coming out, $350 per person. So you're talking $1,400 for the day. You are going to run yourself absolutely ragged. And how much enjoyment are you going to get out of that $1,400 versus what you could spend it on elsewhere in Walt Disney World, whether it be souvenirs, staying at a better resort, going and doing the things that you want to do, eating at restaurants that you could possibly spend that money on. Rides are rides in Walt Disney World. But I mean, the experiences, hanging out with your family, having these experiences, are the rides the most important thing is my point.
Yeah. Scott, what do you think?
That was well done. I mean, that's well said. Like, I agree. Like, I think you're going on vacation for these experiences. Now it's easier for us to say, it, right, though, Brandon, because we go, twice a year. I know you got your schedule. You got that May and December time you go, so it's easier for us to say like, I don't need the rides. But man, if you're a first time visit, like, all you're gonna think is like, wow, this is really expensive to come here. Like, I just don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. And that's kind of the other half of my point is you paid for the flights, you paid for the travel to get there, whatever way you came down, whether you drove or you flew, you're paying for the hotel room. You're expecting these park tickets are expensive enough as it is, but it's almost like an obligation for a one-time trip person or a first-time trip person to get the most out of that experience. How enjoyable is that knowing that you're getting soaked in the meantime,
Yeah.
I will say now, just kind of devil's advocate kind of here. Like when we went out to Disneyland in July of 22 for the very first time, that first day we were in Disneyland Park, I went hard, and it's because I was almost running on adrenaline because I was so excited that there were so many attractions in that park and everything was kind of familiar, but everything was new. And I just did not want to stop because I was having such a ball. Like, I don't know, I was still the same age. I was still the same, physical ability or whatever, but it was the newness of the experience that I had not had that experience in that park before, that it kind of kept me going for almost the entire day at Disneyland Park. We didn't take a break that first day because, again, I think a lot of times, and you see this in sports too, with an athlete that might have an injury that carries them for a little bit of time, where adrenaline will take over, and because you're having such a good time, that possibly that could carry you through a first time experience, right? But so maybe with first timers, this is something. And again, I think too, because you're mentioning like, could you spend this better with, like, instead of spending the money on the premier pass, maybe souvenirs or better dining? I think maybe the folks that buy this pass, they're going to buy the pass and still get the souvenirs and still have fine dining along with it. I don't know that it's an either or kind of trade-off like maybe we're thinking. I don't know. Maybe it's not something that's within my reach. I mean, I don't know, because maybe I really don't know.
No, Mike, I get what you're saying. The first time my wife and I came to Walt Disney World, we did it the same thing. We went hard at it. We wanted to make sure we experienced the most in each park every single time. If this is something that your family, say, saved up for a one-time experience, when you went to California, you paid for your park ticket. You didn't also pay for $350 on top of that to ride every experience. You ran around that park and did the most you could for what you paid for that park ticket. You're right. As far as I don't want to call it elitist, but the people that have the more money that's willing to spend that kind of money, I think that's a different class, I guess, for Disney fans. And I really appreciate the fact that they're keeping the multi-pass thing open and the single pass thing open versus you have one choice to either pay this X amount of money or you don't have a choice at all. You know what I mean? I do appreciate that they give you, they're right now anyway, holding on to those tiers.
Yeah, because I did have Genie Plus that trip, and I did have Park Hopper because I wanted to advantage myself as much because I'd never been there before, and I wanted to, like I said, I was only going to be there for 5 days. I wanted to see as much as I could. I've been waiting forever, and it did make my experience better. I mean, because Scott had told me, because Scott was my go-to. He'd been out there, and we met up after my first day. I was there by myself, and the rest of the days we were all there together as families, and we used Genie Plus out at Lightning Lane Multipass now. Out at Disneyland, it's just, it works so well. And Park Hopper, we just went from ride to ride to ride to ride to ride.
But I'll say with this, and you were kind of talking about with your media event band, like there's something about like just showing up to an attraction, just going right on, and not having to worry about like booking a time slot. So like, well, I'm having Via Napoli at this time, so I can't do this then because like you can just plan around that, and it's just nice. Like, hey, you want to do this right now? We're walking right by it, boom, and you're in. Like, I don't know if it's $350 per person value for me personally, but it could be for someone else. But just the fact that you don't have to plan that, I think, is super nice. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this is going to go because it's deluxe guest only, right now, and Yeah, I'm just curious. Well, I mean, we're gonna have the big Thanksgiving weekend. I'm gonna be there. I think Brandon's there right after that. So I'm very, very curious if it makes a difference in the lines. Like, I don't think it will, but
I don't
we
think
shall see, right?
I think it's going to be invisible. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to ever see this, to be honest. I mean, Brandon, do you think it'll be anything anybody will even, if they would have never announced this, I don't think anybody would have even known if they'd have just like sent out like a direct email to just deluxe guests that have reservations that you have this option, kind of like they do sometimes with concierge guests. I mean, it would have
Oh,
leaked,
I agree
obviously.
100%. Mike, this could have been a behind the scenes thing that they just offer when you book at the Contemporary or you book at Grand Floridian or whatever.
Yeah.
They just gave you this offer package, but to throw it out there to the public's eye, of course, everything is going to be scrutinized and put up to public criticism. It's just not a good look for Disney, in my opinion. It was the wrong way to put it out there. I think it should have done privately, through you like a travel agent. I buy Genie every time we go because I don't want to wait in the long lines. But like Scotty said, we come twice a year. So if we don't get it to hit Jungle Cruise or whatever, we'll hit it the next time. But for the average person that looks at this, it just looks like a really bad face for Disney to like look at this cash grab and throw it out there. I do agree that it should have been private.
Yeah, because that's what they do with concierge guests, right? They'll send them an email saying, okay, you have these offerings, but but we're living in that world where as soon as that first email would have gone out to the first guest staying at the Grand Floridian, it would have been on Twitter and Facebook and every social media outlet.
Yeah,
so they're probably like
on social media would have leaked it.
Yeah, I mean, they're like,
it's like the Magic Kingdom Tomorrowland Cabanas, right?
Exactly. So probably like, let's just get in front of this and just post it. And the other thing that was working against them, there's no, they did this the day before Epic Universe was announced. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have this big thing, which is a money profit center the total service, right? There's no like product, there's no hard, like tangible thing that the guest gets. It's a service. And then you have a whole entire theme park being announced opening on May 22nd down the street. So, I mean, it's just it horrible timing. I mean, there's just no way other to say it. It was bad timing, and they knew it was coming. I mean, you got to know that. I mean, but I mean, you know what? Like, we live in a news cycle that, a week later people forget. So I guess it's one of those things you just throw it out there and just like, we'll move on. We'll, next week. Who knows? And
they announced that at 6 a.m. because it's like a Disneyland thing too. So like it's 3 a.m. out there and they're announcing this. Like, isn't that weird?
Like, well, they always say to drop it like in the Friday news dump, 5 o'clock on a Friday. I'm surprised they didn't do that, to be honest, but yeah, right. I mean, it was a weird time, but yeah, Wednesday morning, but who knows? They had I guess they were trying to get in front of the Epic Universe, probably thinking, we'll announce it there. Epic Universe will get all the buzz and people forget about it by Friday. Maybe. I mean, you did.
I'm
you
pretty
thought
sure
it was
Disney
like 2
had
weeks
5
ago.
years to try to figure out how to get something in front of Epic Universe.
Yeah. I mean, it could have done something else, but yeah, we got time. I mean, we got all those announcements at D23. Now we just got to get them out there and built.
Yes.
It'll be fun. We got good times ahead.
I'll be excited to see what they do, with the closure of Big Thunder Mountain and seeing what they're going to do. And I'm really hoping they're paving the way to beyond Big Thunder at that point. But again, it is what it is. Dino Land is first, apparently, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. A year for Big Thunder. And I'm shocked they're closing it before Marathon Weekend. Like, why couldn't they hold off at least till Marathon Weekend's over? Because that is a crazy crowded weekend. Or MLK.
We joked like, is it going to go underwater like it does in Paris? And that's why it's going to be like over a year to do the refurbishment.
No, because there won't be any water left.
I know.
Yeah, there would have been.
I know people are like iffy on this, but like I love the third scene in Disneyland with like the explosion. Like I kind of hope that's what's coming. But I know it's super loud and a lot going on, so that could not be the best for some people, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
I do too. I'm with you. I do like that. That's pretty sweet.
I will tell you guys, I've never been on Tom Sawyer Island, and the wife and I are talking about doing this for our upcoming trip. Beginning of December, just to say we did it. It's almost like that last hurrah to say, well, I've not been interested in this all this time, but at least I can say that I did it.
Do it. It's a relic, but do it. Like, go in the caves, go up to Fort Langhorne, go down the secret passage, do all the things. It's
find a rocking chair if you can. I know there's few of them, but yeah.
I mean, it just because it's it's something like, it's like walking into the past. Make sure I would definitely do it.
Absolutely, fellas. Well, it's great talking to you. I'll let you guys close out the show, but Scotty, maybe I'll see you there in a few weeks.
Would love to meet up. Yeah. Let's make it work. Where are you staying at, Coronado?
No, I'm at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's a great spot to be. I love it.
Yeah, I got the old fan of you this time. I got a great deal thanks to Mike. We went through a couple of different things. The offer came up, and I was like, you know what? It was worth the upgrade.
I mean,
that's great. So Jico, I know you're a foodie. Is Jico going to be on the list of reservations?
Jico is, or we're going to do the Boma breakfast. We've never done that before, so we're going to try that out. But even then, you can't complain about the Mara. I mean, they've got great food. The shrimp bowls are really good. The chicken bowl's really good. The steak bowl's good. And the zebra domes, you know.
Agreed. Mara is like an underappreciated place because, like,
yes,
because like it's not like a Skyliner goes through it or anything. Like you have to work to get there if you're not staying there. But it's worth it, man. Like I love and they have some of the Boma soups there sometimes too. Like it's a great spot. Love it.
Oh yeah, for quick service, you can't beat it. Yeah. But also you can't beat Pop Century's quick service either. So I'm not a big
food court.
And I don't know if we broke the news. I think we did a couple weeks ago, but they have the wedge tie-dye cheesecake back instead of the old cups. I mean, they're going.
I think I'm going to go to Pop Century, even though we're staying at the campground, but I'm going.
I mean, that is breaking news right
Research,
there.
Right? I got to do it for the podcast.
Yes. Wedge tie-dye cheesecake. Let's go. What they say.
100% for research only, Scotty.
Exactly. Yes. Nature is healing. We have wedge tie-dye cheesecake at Pop Century. We're getting there, people. Brandon, it's so good to talk to you. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, you as well, guys. It's been a while. I hadn't done it since the Hike Flamingo episode last December, so I think maybe I'll give you an update after this December's Hike Flamingo episode.
That'd be great.
Absolutely. You take care of yourself, and
I hope we made it. That'd be great. We'll stay in touch.
It's good talking to you. Thanks for taking the time. Have a good week. All right, bye-bye. All right, well, Scotty G, what another great show.
It flew by.
Shoes and expensive VIP experiences.
And for the record, 100 grand is my answer.
Oh, dude, those are rocket. I have not had one of those in a long time. So let me remember. Red package, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so they're kind of like a crunch, but they have caramel.
It's like a mystic crunch, but like it has like a little like caramel, a little like nutty kind of thing. It's so and like for the longest time I can never see it, and I'm kind of glad I don't always see them, but I've had to like have so much discipline lately because at our work we have this little like cafe shop or whatever, and they have them stocked. And I look at them when I walk by, and it's like right by where I sit too, unfortunately, in the office. And I'm just like, I know there's 100 grand in there, but I'm passing.
You're like,
maybe on Halloween day I will get one.
You're like, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
You're just like,
it's taunting me. That 100. I'll take a photo for you tomorrow and show you. Like, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's right here.
Picture back. Oh my gosh, those are rocking. So
yeah, I can't wait to have a tie-dye cheesecake. That is like one of the most things I'm looking forward to on this trip. Honestly, I'm not even staying there, but like, because you've been around a while, man. That was so good. And when they went to that cup, like it broke my heart, Mike.
Same. I mean, I did them because you have to, but like, yeah, I mean, it's
that was like
meant to be. I mean, it's meant to be.
That was back when we were doing the dining plan all the time. I had the tables in Wonderland. I would get 20% off on that thing. Sometimes I get 2 of them. That's probably why I look the way I do now. But dude, it was so good. The wedge.
The wedge. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Marathon weekend. I'll be down there. I'm getting one. So you got me hung up on the 100 grand because I need one of those. We're gonna have to try to find one around here. I don't know if they have them at Target or something. I'm gonna go to Target or something or Walgreens. But yeah, whatchamacallits, when I was a kid, were kind of like that. I love those. They're like in a brown kind of wrapper.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Or those are rocking candy bars.
I think I took 100 grand because they're so. I don't see them that often. So like when you see it, like you have to get it. It's like a rare bar.
Here's the thing too. Okay, so again, we got to wrap the show. But when Mallory was little and used to go trick or treating, even Paige back in the day, forever ago, because she's 20, she'll be 28 in a couple weeks. Like she would go trick or treating. She'd mostly get the good candy, right? But there would always be like 2 random 100 grands or like whatchamacallits, and like you'd wonder like, where did those come from? You know, because you go through the whole neighborhood
Yeah.
and they would always come back with like, you know, 1 or 2 candies from like the 80s. And you'd be like, which house gave you those? Because you didn't keep track, right? Because you go up
No,
there.
yeah, you didn't.
People are
Unless
just
you got something weird. I got a
Okay.
tennis ball one year, and I remember the tennis ball house. But yeah,
tennis ball,
yes,
a rock.
that could be next year's password. What was the craziest thing you've given out or received
Yes.
trick or treating?
Yeah, because next week will be the week before Halloween.
Yeah,
That'll be
and I've seen some weird stuff, man. Like Emily comes, like there must be a dentist in here because I think she gets a toothbrush some years.
I've heard of that. I've never
Yeah.
gotten one, but I've heard of that. Yeah, I've totally heard that. And Brandon
The
says,
tennis ball, though, man. Like, why did I get a tennis ball?
dude, that's just asking to get it thrown right back at your house. It's like handing somebody an egg. Nope. Not happening. All right, we got to close this out, but we're gonna do this again next Sunday night. So we already know the password is gonna be, what is the craziest thing you've given out, or what do you give out on Halloween? What is your candy to give out this year, or what have you given out in the past?
Some BOGP or Must See Adventure like stickers or something, like advertise.
I know some of our agents do that.
Yeah.
They give out like goodie bags with their
That's
card.
funny.
I'm not that together. I just candy here.
Boom. Take it off.
I don't want them to know. I just here Reese's Pieces. Just move along like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
All right, we are out of here, but we'll be back in next week, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, taking your calls. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Scott will be here. I'll be here. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Who knows what the news will bring us this week, but Disney keeps
I
providing.
feel like it's gonna be a slow news week. We'll see though.
You say that. We'll see. I hope. Let's see.
Oh, we got our candlelight though. Like, remember we talked about it. I was like, when are they gonna announce the candlelight? And boom, we got it. So
we make things. Oh yeah. So, and I worked hard on this all week. So here we go.
What can I say except you're welcome?
There you go. I put that on the board for every time that happens from now on. Dude, I worked
Yeah.
hard. That took me like 15 minutes for that little 5-second.
worth it, because you're gonna use it a lot.
Every time something like that happens from now on, you're
Yep.
getting hit with a little Maui. Isn't that Maui?
That's Maui, yeah, baby.
Actually, I was on hold with Disney Cruise Line and that played, and I'm like, we are going to use that every time one of those things happens from now till eternity.
I love it.
That's a little behind the scenes on the Be Our Guest podcast and how Mike Rollman's brain works. All right. So our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. Check out all the details over at themagicforless.com. The bottom line is it's absolutely free to you. You get lots of little goodies like onboard credits with Disney Cruise Line and Disney gift cards and awesome travel laundry bags and stuff like that when you book Walt Disney World and Disneyland trips. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That's one extra click. Boom. We get a little commission from Amazon and it supports the show. We appreciate that so much. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You guys make all these shows possible. We could not do this without your support. You can support us just $5 a month. It's like a cup of coffee. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week. This week's show was called I Was There and I Could Not Believe It. And it was a show that I talked about my experience yesterday at Faroe Field at Memorial Stadium. It was the Mizzou game, but it wasn't about sports. I saw a movie happen. Our quarterback was in the hospital. He was in the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. He was in a pickup truck with the trainer driving through the tailgates and still came back and beat Auburn on homecoming. A St. Louis kid that at 11 years old was out tailgating in his Mizzou jersey as a kid because he wanted to play for Mizzou, but he wanted to play so bad. He was hurt that they took him to the hospital, MRI'd his leg, shot him up with, I don't know, wrapped him and gave him some good stuff, took him to the practice facility over halftime, tested his leg across the street, came in at the end of the third quarter and brought our team back on a 95-yard drive. It was, I still can't believe it happened. I mean, we're probably not going to win the national championship, but a kid from St. Louis who just wanted his Mizzou Tigers because he loves Mizzou that much, willed his team to victory. I could not believe, because I mean, this kid is, all he wanted to do was play quarterback for Mizzou. And I mean, he's not the greatest quarterback. He's not going to be Peyton Manning. He's not going to be, the greatest ever. He's not even going to play in the NFL. But by God, this kid, he was riding in a pickup truck during the game to the hospital to get checked out, and he came back and won the game against an SEC foe that we had not beaten since I have been alive, and I am 50 years old. They had not beaten him since October of 73. So I tell my excited story, which I pretty much just gave you the cliff notes right here.
Oh, we just got it right here.
So there you go. That's kind of the whole show. It was unbelievable. But anyway, if you want stories like that, but I choke up a few times in the show because I'm a little sappy. It's patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give Scott a follow on the social media at @Scott, EPSCOT. And also, you need to go over to Must See Adventures. That is the YouTube channel to subscribe to. Bust that button. Check out all his videos. Scott, anything people need to know about Must See Adventures right now?
So it's a busy week, at work. So and editing videos can take a while. So have not even started editing the next one. But yeah, go back and look at the archives. Fun time exploring Norway and Royal Caribbean. And we're gonna have some France and Spain videos coming your way really soon. I got our daughter has her 17th birthday this week, so it might be tough getting into some editing this week. But I promise you, once November rolls around, they're going to start rolling, and we're going to be recording new footage with the new camera down at Walt Disney World the week of Thanksgiving. So lots of great content is coming your way.
Love it. So subscribe so that anytime anything goes up on Must See Adventures, boom, you get a notification. Hey,
there's going to be some tie-dye cheesecake happening at some point. I'm just saying right now.
Like that. All right. We'll have the shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you're subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to the show, even if you watch us live. That really does help us with the ratings and everything like that. And you get the notifications so that when we get a new show, it's right there. So you can take it on your commute or your walk or your run, whatever you have. And we appreciate that so much. And also ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate that so much too. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike as well on the social media. Love to connect with you. In the clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We have fun over there. Jason's over there. Veronica's over there. Everybody's over there. All the cool kids. We have fun. Lots of pictures. Lots of food too.
Especially lots of like a fitness channel. Lots of us are doing step challenges. Mohawk is crushing it. We've got some other people on board. So doing some little weight challenges. Yeah, I love it.
Killing that treadmill thing. And then Run Mike is posting all those great food pictures with skulls. It's crazy. Yes. Drinks.
And he's doing like 50, 60 mile races. Like it's crazy.
He's a win.
We need him to call back because he called in a few weeks ago for his first Disneyland trip. So we'd love to hear how that went. Yeah.
100%. All right. We got to get out of here and cut you loose. We'll have a lot of shows. We got Trip Report dropping within the hour if you're tuning in live. So that is Stephanie from Idaho joining us. So be ready for that. All right. So we'll catch you this week. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week. Stay safe. Stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty. Good stuff.
Good stuff. So let me know if you need me tomorrow. Heads up on that because I don't know if Pam is going to be back, right? We don't know where she is.
I need you, I think.
Okay.
I'll text tonight.
So Liz has a meeting that runs till 5 tomorrow. So then I'm going to be like in 5 o'clock traffic and all that. So I'm going to be getting home like around 5:30, 5:40. It's just a heads up. But I can record if you need me. I'll just be a little later than I normally am.
Okay, I'll put the text out. We'll make it.
Yeah,
so that's about time Ricky gets home anyway.
Yeah, I figured as much. But unless it was just gonna be you and me, I won't be here at like 4:30 like I am most Mondays.
Put out the text and see what's up. Because I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
but I
will be here. But if you need me, but I'll just be a little later.
I think I do need you. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
I will catch you. Good show. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it was a good show. Good calls, and have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Let Brady cook.
Yes, let Brady cook.
What a day. All right, I'll see you.